Paweł took black, Cassian took white, and I am very happy to see players playing this opening, as I am very fond of it myself. Now white was afraid to simply approach, because certainly black stone will help in any fight which can emerge. It's not a bad move, but instead white decided to split aside and play a very steady combination, building a group. Then black continues in a very reasonable manner. This also makes sense. And now I think I would advertise a jump, because it makes sense with that stone trying to build a box, and also now those stones are useful for making that box. White might play once and then somehow enter, but it's difficult to enter. I mean, black will attack. On the other hand, white is already so strong on the top side. Black can also play elsewhere. Instead, black took the corner, which also makes sense. It is very, very big. However, now the question is whether A, B, C, D are good exchanges for black. If black played on the left side first, then maybe black would have preferred to split white with the move at E instead of playing at A. On the other hand, if black starts with this, then black likely finishes in Gotham. White has time for a move here, so it's also possible to play these exchanges first and then going into the corner. White continued, which makes sense because white wants to put pressure on these two stones of black. Black plays Hane, and in the Joseki you cut. But now the stone at A for sure will be helpful for black. So white was afraid and played from above. How would it be? Black would play Atari from below, otherwise white's descent is center, so black would go here. And then the strongest move of black is likely standing up. Now the stone at A is a perfectly located pincer. To this I believe that we can answer, and it's difficult for white to go out. This standing up is very powerful with having that stone, having that pincer stone. If we play like in the normal Joseki, then, well, we really shouldn't do this, how the normal Joseki goes, because now we got basically the result from the Joseki, but with one more move spent. So now the stone at A is not well located. It's not needed there. We would prefer to have the stone here at 14 instead of the stone at 10 and A, and instead have another stone somewhere else on the board. So this we cannot accept. Instead we can fight like this, but then white has a way out. And now if black captures, it maybe goes like this. If black captures the three stones, then well, white gets a Ponuki. Both are possible, but it should be more powerful to go here. I explained more this this shape with this Joseki and that stone on a lecture at the London Go Center in May this year. So you can just check on YouTube London Go Center, and you can find some game commentaries of mine there, and also live lectures which I gave at London tournaments. So also a discussion of this shape, more detailed than here. So in the game, white plays Hane, and you need to understand one thing, that right now, locally it's better for black, but the stone at A is misplaced. So white can accept giving black this fourth line territory, which would usually be better for black, because now the stone at A doesn't really make sense here. It's just making territory from a very, very strong group, and well, and the corner enclosure, which is also safe. It is also too close to that strong group of black, so it's inefficient, it's over-concentrated. That's why it's an even result. And then, what should white do? In the game, white played Keima, but this doesn't make sense, because black already answered to this move at A. After this move at A, the stone of black at B starts making sense. Still, probably black would prefer to have it elsewhere and not at B, because it's still not that big, but at least it's answering white's move, it's protecting from white's very easy intrusion into black's area. Instead of playing a move which is already answered, white should play a cap. After this one, are we afraid that black plays here? First of all, if black wants to make a box, black would start from there, because after this one still white can enter very easily. And also black doesn't have time to do such things, because the group on the bottom is in a very problematic situation. So the cap would be very powerful, and white would feel good in this game, I think. Maybe taking into account the stones on the bottom, black can consider simply jumping out. Like this. Maybe something like this. So this would be good for white, but with that move it's so easy for black to run out. However, black attaches, and probably black thought that white will play Hane and black will have a way to make a base, or to run first and later make a base. However, white found this option, and Atari first, which is very smart, because now black is cut and black cannot save both these stones and those. Black might consider making life here, or maybe even playing these exchanges to be sure that the group is alive. But black didn't like that white's potential in the center is very strong, and also it seems that black needs to add a move. Otherwise there might be a little of a problem. Either there will be or not, but still white's potential is very strong, and there is still a bit of weakness in black's shape. So instead black decides to play in the center. So he plays center exchange, go out. But if so, why don't we just go out? Well, if we play here, then white will surely go up. This is a very valuable move. But we can play here first and then go here. Or maybe Tiger's Moth is better. Are we afraid that white plays these moves now? If not, then it means that we don't need to play them ourselves, because otherwise we will always have time to play it. It's always black center. And also it's not the case that white has some two ways of answering these moves. It's not a question move. So don't do such exchanges if they are not needed now. If your opponent is not going to stop you from playing them. By the way, once you are here watching, I was also very interested to ask how is the sound, if today is better than usually. Well, I can also listen myself afterwards, but I am using a different microphone, so interesting to know which feels more pleasant. So why should you not make center exchanges? Because you don't know what the future will bring. Maybe there is a fight. Maybe your opponent decides to cut you with this move and this. And then perhaps you try to fight in this way and that way and that way. And then suddenly you might have an option to capture white stones. However, if you made the exchanges first, the variation might not work. So you cannot predict. You cannot predict what happens in the future, but maybe what you play now will not leave you an option which might be very, very useful in a fight. So leave it for later. If you're only not afraid that white plays here now, and probably you're not because it's too easy for black then to run out. Alright. Black still played this, and now if I was white I would play from the top. If white plays from the top, what can black do? Maybe here, but then white might cut. Or maybe there. If Hane, again, white might cut. And if here, well, white is making a big potential towards the top side, and later white can count on creating quite some points here, and black is still not completely safe. So this is a good direction of the attack. But instead, white tries to destroy black's base, which is unreasonable, especially that black can treat the single stone very lightly and play from the outside later here, and black got much stronger thanks to that attack of white. Now black's group is certainly stronger than it used to be, so still it's possible to attack it. Still it's possible to attack it. Maybe black should play here. Yeah, and possibly there. I don't understand why black plays from this side, connects the stone. After that, it gives white an option to again make a direction of play choice and try to push black towards white's wall and try to get a potential towards the right side, which is still open. Well, maybe the wall looks like it has weaknesses, so it's a tricky question, but it might be that white has a Tesuji here. If black connects, white can cut and black is in trouble. If black connects here, then white can simply push. Later also this cut looks very, very risky for black. So this is an option for white. This is an option, which is somehow a logical continuation of that attack. Of course, we don't really want to now completely ignore these two stones because we already invested something in them. Instead, white cuts, and then black managed to get that good direction of play. White gets a Ponuki, fine, good shape, but now black gets a potential towards the right side, which is the last open side on this board. However, still it's fine for white if white only chooses the correct direction now and attacks black from that side. If white only builds a potential towards the right side, then the game should be good for white. Still the attack was successful and white gained already profit from it on the bottom. This was very happy for white. And now if white can get another profit, white should be good in the game. However, instead, white pushes through, capturing two black stones, which are not necessary at all. They are not cutting stones, and white is taking points from a Ponuki and a wall. So this is a very strange choice, as it gives black a potential towards the last important side of this board. Wrong direction of play. Black gets this potential, and now we have a very interesting moment. Black needs to connect to not die. However, before doing so, maybe black can get something. It's often good to not just directly connect to the peep, but first try to tempt our opponent into playing the cut and make just the cut not working. So the only question is how to do it, from which side, which direction to take. For example, we can choose this. It looks like a shape move, the move at 1, but it gives white a good direction towards the right side, so it doesn't make sense. So instead black plays this attachment and then connects. But this also doesn't make sense. AB exchange is not good for black. This is anyway a good move for white, but this attachment is not good for black at all. White can even capture this stone, getting a very big, getting quite many points and still weakening black's group. And if black wants to have anything out of it, then black needs to connect that stone. Well, maybe it makes sense if black can continue. So the question is whether now black can capture 3 white stones. And it seems that it's unclear. It seems that it's unclear, unfortunately. This would be good for black. This also. And this would be a call, but it also looks good for black. Because black can get really much on this call. And white cannot start it with a proper move. White needs to cut. Maybe it's not even a call. Maybe it's not even a call. Yeah, so black should be good. Black should be good. And then it makes sense what black played. White is forced to play here, then black plays there. You need to remember that if you do it now, it's for sure center. But if you do it later, it's not necessarily center. If you do it later, then white can ignore the two stones. But black was a bit afraid of continuing, so now black connected. But then it doesn't make sense. Then the AB exchange is just a bad exchange. There were other possibilities. For example, this move would be much clearer. It's for sure not possible for white to cut because this net very easily works. And if white plays here, then it should be a good exchange for black because black gets outside. White also gets a good move, worth quite something. Quite a few points, but maybe it's a good exchange for black. Maybe also possible to play something crazy, but who knows, we would need to read it deeply. Other than that, we can simply connect. Certainly it's not good to change plans halfway and now connect. White even played this move though. Maybe it's better to play on that side. Still white puts pressure on black's group in the center and also takes that most important side. Alright, now still is possible to play here, but instead white chooses a wrong direction of play of once again, plays from strong stones where there are not many points to be taken instead of playing on the last open side. And then black takes this chance to play on the side. And now it starts already looking better for black, but white can still get a good result or might maybe still be in the game if white plays this way and splits black because this takes away black's points and still might put pressure on black's dragon. However, white enters the corner and then black answers from the outside, which is locally the correct move. The Joseki goes like this, and later this is black's center also. So now black is already good in this game because black's outside influence has double meaning. First of all, point. Second of all, strengthening the last weak group. A very heavy, large dragon. So this was a game-losing move. White should play here, then there is still a chance. White plays here, which is not a Joseki, because locally white is not alive. However, right now, it's not possible for black to play this way, because thanks to that stone at A, black cannot really fight. Like this or like that. Black cannot fight. Or maybe black can, but oh well. Maybe black can. It's possible to think of it. This would be good for black. But well, okay. I can understand that black simply protected on the outside, and then white made an not understandable mistake. This move also makes life. This group is already alive. The outside liberty is not necessary. Also, if black plays here, the group of white is already alive, so it's just better to play here. And also black cannot now try to kill white's group because white goes out. So descent was just inferior, and then black plays this move. Maybe the exchange is not necessary. White can ignore it because this direction of play is just very boring, the central one, because all stones there are safe. But after this move, maybe white can still have chance to win the game if white still tries to enter. Maybe white still has a chance to turn the table, but if white plays such a modest move, Then black simply protected the territory, and black had more. Black had more. Later, black still managed in the endgame to enter into white's area because of white's sloppiness. White should have played here, but instead white played there, and black entered, taking away quite a few points. But black's advantage was decisive already before. So black won this game, and that's it. Happy that now the microphone worked, I believe. Tough to tell which mic is better. This one sounds well. Alright, that's good. And anyway, we will move to the next game now, still staying in Group B.